Welcome, everyone. My name is Kate Black, and this is my third year moderating at Raise the Green Bar. Thank you to Made Safe and the team at Good Housekeeping and Hearst Communications for inviting me again. I'm the author of Magnifico, your head-to-toe guide to ethical fashion and non-toxic beauty. So it's always a pleasure to be joined in conversation by leaders in ethical fashion and this year, beauty. And my guest today is Daya Fields, a president at Amyris Biotech Company based in Emeryville, California. Daya oversees both Pipette, a safe ingredient baby and family skincare brand, and Pure Cane, a zero-calorie, all-natural sweetener brand that is derived from sugar cane. Daya has been a leader in the beauty industry for over 12 years. Welcome, Daya, and thank you for joining me in the conversation on corporate leadership in the new normal.
Thank you so much, Kate. It's so good to be here. This is not my third time at the Good Housekeeping, Made Safe, Raise the Green Bar conference, but it is my second. I'm so happy to be asked back again in this role with Amyris, and I'm excited to have a conversation with you and everybody at the conference.
Because Amyris is a publicly traded company, I thought we would hold our conversation from the lens of ESG. And so for those who haven't heard this acronym before, ESG stands for Environment, Social, and Governance. And it's really the new bar, speaking of raising the green bar, that publicly traded companies are being measured on from analysts, from investors, on how they're doing and what kind of impacts they're making in the world. So environment is exactly what it sounds. It's our typical kind of environmental, social, or sustainable strategies. Social is looking after your employees, the value chain where you work. And then governance is really about the diversity and how you're setting the stage within the leadership of the company. So Daya, let's start with environmental. Can you talk about what sustainability means to Amyris and how that plays out with your brands?
Growing consumer awareness around buying choices and the impact on the environment is really driving the growth of sustainable consumer products. At Pipette, specifically, one of the brands that I lead, we offer clean formulaic solutions that are sustainable towards skin health. Each product is put through a very extensive safety and clinical testing that ensures our products are safe for skin application and absorption. The last but most important point of differentiation about Pipette is that each one of our products are EWG verified, meaning they ban over 2,000 ingredients that may potentially cause either short or long-term harm. Pure Cane, another one of the brands that I work with, is a zero-calorie, all-natural, diabetes-friendly sweetener that is zero glycemic, and it tastes just like sugar. In general, all of the brands in Amyris's consumer unit are targeted towards consumers that place emphasis in clean products with close to zero waste and demonstrate a mission-based approach. As a company, we support consumer desire to make healthier purchases through the creation of being a leader in skincare for the whole family. And I'm really proud to say that of the first of this year in 2020, Amyris has made all of our customer shipments carbon neutral. And for a large publicly traded company, that's definitely no small feat. It was a great accomplishment for us because we ship out multi-millions of units of product a year to just as many consumers.
That's amazing. And congratulations. Carbon neutral is no easy feat. So, as president, how do you determine those environmental goals? How do you go about setting them and then making sure that you're able to achieve them?
Since the multiple businesses units at Amyris work very closely together, we talk about them as part of our overall corporate strategy. And when we define these goals, we enlist our operations team as well, because they are very heavily involved in selecting the right vendors and making sure they have the right practices to help us execute environmental goals of the highest standards. That is how we're able to leverage sustainability at scale, is all of our business units, the leaders working together. So for example, I don't specifically in a silo make my goals for Pipette or Pure Cane. I work with the other leaders so we can achieve that scale. And we need scale to continue to move towards profitability. And if the brands don't think and goal and operate similarly, it's hard for us to get there. And our environmental goals cover ingredient sourcing, ingredient selection, packaging materials, manufacturing and shipping processes, as well as health impact of our consumers using our products.
Amazing. And actually, we've seen the companies that are most successful around this are usually the ones that do have some organizational structure that involves the employees all along the value chain. And employees are obviously at Emirates and Pipette and Pure Cane interested in the environmental, but they're also starting to become much more activated by social change. So not just the employees, but the customers as well. They want to see a company that's engaged with the community, and so do the raters and the rankers, the analysts who are kind of measuring the ESG efficacy of brands. So, what are Pipette's priorities around social change?
Engaging with our community has always been a top priority for Pipette. We're a caring brand. That is part of our DNA. We're warm, we're soft. We are a brand for expecting mothers. We're a brand for postpartum mothers, and we are a family brand. So we are safe and meant for holistic use. In order to consistently engage our target consumer, which is the mom, we have to be involved and engaged in the local community and throughout the world. And that's really one of the key benefits of being a part of a publicly traded company is being able to have that reach. So consumers want to see brands that lead change, pioneer, have a voice, and have a mission for besides just existing for profits. They want to see that triple P bottom line, positive movements towards the planet, profits, and people. And that is also our priority as well. So Pipette has done so much around social change. And since we're a brand just 1 year old, we actually turned one on September 4th. Our major strides were during the beginning of the pandemic. We've donated over $50,000 to the Conscious Kid organization. And the Conscious Kid organization specializes in education, research, and policy dedicated to equity and promoting healthy racial identity development in youth. And Pipette also launched a blockbuster hand sanitizer in the midst of the pandemic. And I will say it is the healthiest and safest for your family that you can find in the US. It's a strong statement, but it's absolutely true. I definitely stand by it because it's gone through safety and clinical testing. It's EWG certified. Again, banning over 2,000 ingredients that are potentially harmful. And it uses our company's proprietary ingredient, squalane. And squalane is at the heart of the formula. It is emollient rich and it's throughout all of our products. And although we launched this product to obviously sell on the marketplace, we originally had this planned as a 2021 launch. But because there was such a void in the marketplace on the shelves and online for hand sanitizer, we moved it to 2020 and we worked all remotely developing this product within a month, going through still all the checks we would do for normal products. And right away, we donated over 20,000 units to healthcare workers in both New York City and California. And we have done hundreds of thousands of units of donation to homeless shelters and to prenatal centers as well. And of course, we sell the product. And lastly, what we do for social change is we promote mental health and wellness messaging as part of our brand communication. For example, there are women who have lost children during pregnancy, in early infancy, and moms that just need pick me ups, particularly now, because being a mom is one of the hardest jobs out there. Interweaving encouragement and these positive messages in our content, not just promotions and product sales, it's really critical.
That's amazing. First of all, happy birthday. I mean, you've gone from being a newborn to now into the toddler stage. So, congratulations. That's a lot of things that you've accomplished this year. When it comes to being a publicly traded company and measuring that on an ESG kind of framework, how are you going to measure that impact? Or how are you going to see that that continues to have growth in the future?
Mm-hmm. Well, right now, each brand tracks its own progress. That is part of the brand strategy. And our progress is tracked and selected based upon what the brand's DNA is and what our focus is, in essence, to try to be wide reaching with all of our initiatives. We give away product to those in need. We have been a pioneer in resolving the hand sanitizer shortage, which has been huge. And we have sustainability packaging goals, clean formula goals, and consumer feedback goals in terms of positive sentiment. We send updates to our consumers via social, email, and it's also on our site. But one of the things that we're particularly excited about in Amorous, across the consumer unit, across the business to business brands, and all of the industries that we are involved in, we're in the process of launching a comprehensive sustainability report that quantifies and qualifies all of our business unit KPIs. We will be tracking measures and showing the type of impact that we give. And we are looking forward to this report. And it's really going to be headed up by Beth Bannerman. She's our Chief Engagement and Sustainability Officer at Amorous.
We've talked about environmental, we've talked a little bit about social, but I want to move on to the governance portion. And diversity in governance is important, and investors want to see more representation in the leadership and from women and from people of color, from women of color. So what does representation and diversity mean to you and to Amorous and to the brands that you work for?
So first, before I talk about equality and representation, I do want to acknowledge that there are so many social movements transpiring throughout the US to stop inequities, unfairness, and injustice, and they're all important. As a corporation, Amorous has chosen to invest in a long-term strategy to support diversity in every area of the business. And it personally touches me that there is so much action behind its pledges made to the company's investors, consumers, and to the employees. With respect to Black Lives Matter movement and the efforts Amorous has made thus far, we've already executed really large reaching initiatives that will have long-term effects, and they're not just about this moment in time in a response to what's happened, in the last few months. The company's motto in general is do good, no compromise, and it also applies here as well. I've personally in my career have been affected by systemic racism at the leadership level, both overt and in covert ways. And it's been a hard earned road getting to the president level of a publicly traded company, as you can imagine. And along the way, there have been some calls that have affected my career and my growth that were fair, and others that have been based in some biases and some discrimination. So, what Amorous has been doing throughout the organization and beyond is what they have been doing, what they are doing, what they will be doing is not just about pledges, not just about statements, it's about action. So, one of the things we're doing in the next 18 months is we are ensuring that we have a 50% lift in Black representation with regards to our employees. And that initiative started in the summer of 2020. We are on track to donate $180,000 to scholarship funds for STEM, health, and marketing at historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs. 1/3 of Amorous's interns will come from HBCUs, and we've added Black representation to our board of directors. Julie Washington, a transformational marketing leader, is now on our board, and we're honored to have her. And we've made additions to the executive leadership team as well. Also, one of the important things that has started is that we have regular inclusivity training that really touches about certain key topics that are available at Amorous for the leaders and throughout the organization.
That's incredible. I'm so glad that you shared all of that, and it's really kind of foundational work. And I think it's more of a reflection of you and your type of leadership, that this are kind of the streams or the veins in which you bring that perspective into the organization. So I would love to have you just kind of talk a little bit about what being on an advisory means in terms of all of the social challenges that we're going through at this moment, and why getting involved in community is so important.
I think along those lines, I would say to anybody that is looking to get involved and looking to help make some changes in their community regionally or in a larger way is first of all is to get out there and please vote. You may or may not like the current options out there, but the action of voting gives you say. And so many have fought the good fight for people like you and me to have the choice to be able to vote. So bottom line, you're at the Raise the Green Bar conference with Good Housekeeping and Made Safe. So you are already a leader in your own right. So I am probably just preaching to the choir about voting, but in case there is just one or two or a handful of you that are kind of on the fence with respect to whether your singular voice matters, it completely does. It completely does. So that's one thing that I want to say. That is a way to be a part of change. I also believe that what you can do reflects your personal passion and the type of disposable time you have. So with regards to advisory for me, I have 3 young girls at home I'm responsible for, and I have a pretty demanding job that keeps me busy. So being physically involved in marches was not the choice I made for several reasons. However, because I have experience running organizations, I'm involved on a lot of advisory boards that help with change. For example, where I live in Washington State and Thurston County, I'm on the board of the Thurston County Sheriff's Office. And then also, with regards to other Board of Advisors participation with Home First, helping to connect low income housing or affordable housing to low income individuals. Those are the things that I can do to make an impact regionally and at the local level. So that's right for me. We also, my oldest daughter Alexa and I did volunteering, meaning that we donated food for about 3 months during the height of the pandemic. And teaching your children about appreciation and about not taking things for granted is part of instilling change for the next generation. And I'm hoping that really, has a long lasting impact on her. And, when it comes to the Black Lives Matter movement, I would say if you're a mom and you're involved in the PTA, definitely talk to your school about what resources are available for children who've been impacted and making sure there is good representation in the books that are in the library and making sure there is some curriculum about biases.
How can they move the needle internally on sustainability? Just like if you have a quick little kind of piece of advice for them.
Yeah, 2 things is start to try to build an ESG impact report. Doesn't have to be long, doesn't have to be complicated, but start to look at the things that you want to measure and how it can make an impact. 1, 2 is I would say if you're a brand leader, actually apply for a sustainability award. By applying for an award, you'll see what criterion is considered important and is considered critical in order to really say that you're a brand that is aligned with sustainability. So I would say those 2 things, those 2 experiences will help get you there as a brand leader.
That's amazing. I love that advice. Okay, and then for in their private life, because everybody, it doesn't matter if they're aspiring leader or media and everybody who is on this, everybody is trying to up their raise the green bar at home. So what's one piece of advice, one final piece of advice for how people can increase their sustainable behavior at home?
Sure. Nothing huge, small changes done frequently multiple times a week or potentially every day if you can do it. Like the decisions about the end of life for the products that you purchase, changing your lights to LED lights versus incandescent, using the dishwasher instead of hand washing to save water, eat less takeout, cook at home. Um, and then I would say try to encourage kids not to use the toilet as the trash.
I love that. That is such great advice. Daya Fields, this has been an amazing opportunity to get to know you better and to share your insight with the audience. Thank you so much for joining our panel today. Thank you again to Made Safe and Good Housekeeping and Hearst Communications for letting us have this fireside chat.
Thanks so much, Kate. It was really fun. I appreciate just being able to participate, and I hope that the audience has found some value.
Great.